Hi everyone, I'm Terrae Davis. I'm the owner and artistic director of Dance Academy of Praise. You can visit my website at danceacademyofpraise.com. Don't forget to tell your friends to stay connected with the Mish Connection on PCTV.
Click like on Facebook.com/The Mish Connection. Facebook.com/The Mish Connection. Hey Pittsburgh, it's your girl Mish, and welcome to the Mish Connection. I have a very special guest for you today. She is a lovely, talented woman. She is the owner and artistic director of Dance Academy of Praise. Please welcome Terrae Davis.
Hi.
Now, Terrae, I know we've talked a little bit before the show, and I just wanted to reiterate once again the reason why I asked you to come on this show, because I think not only are you a lovely, talented woman, you are very open to not only help others and, give knowledge, but you're open to many different aspects and different ideas, different knowledge, and you just actually came from a conference. Actually, tell us a little bit about your conference that you just came from.
Yeah, so this morning I attended a business women's conference, and so it was just a great place to gain information, obviously, for people who have startup businesses, who have been in business, just to give some encouragement and some information on, marketing and, management, leadership, tax information, financial information. But also, it was also a great way to network with other women businesses in the city. So, I mean, the good thing about events like these is that you don't have to feel alone and in this by yourself. I don't know all the answers. I have a lot of questions, and there are women who are local who are willing to reach out and help me, to meet my goals, because you know what I mean? That's really their mission. I mean, whatever their product or service is, they're in it for that. And obviously business in itself reaps its own rewards, but they're also in it to help and assist in any way they can, which is awesome.
Yes, that is beautiful. That's beautiful to have in the Pittsburgh area today. So I'm glad I got you fresh off of the convention. And now, of course, that is a great way for you to learn different aspects of the business, because you build, Dance Academy of Praise all on your own. So tell me a little bit about how first you were inspired to actually open a dance studio, but also how you were able to just have it, just actually been able to go forward with it.
Yeah, so that's been a dream and a passion of mine. When I was in high school, I was at Kappa, I was a dance major, and every day for 3 hours, 5 days a week, we had dance class. But I was also a student at the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. I had a Lynn Swan scholarship. I had 5 Lynn Swan scholarships. So he actually paid my tuition to go to the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater. So after dancing 3 hours at Kappa, I would leave and go down to the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater and dance for another 2.5 hours. And that was 5 days a week. And then on Saturday mornings, I had a PBT ballet class. And then later on in the afternoon, after music classes for Centers for the Musically Talented and playing in the orchestra, my violin, I would go back to the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater for Nutcracker rehearsal to rehearse for the upcoming Christmas season for Nutcracker every year. So the one thing it did do is keep me busy.
Good.
And it kept me out of trouble, obviously. I wasn't that promiscuous teenager because I had my outlet. And so I found comfort in that. I found joy in that. That was my release from stress and school and bullies and people being silly, nonsense. And so I want to be able to provide that. I think that a lot of kids, I think they get into trouble because they're bored.
Exactly.
They don't have an outlet.
A lot of time on their hands.
Right, they have a lot of time on their hands, and then, you know, whatever somebody else is doing, whether it's good or bad, I want to do it too because I want to be involved. I want to feel connected to something or someone. But I think that good opportunities will allow kids to, you know, build in a fruitful way.
Right.
So whenever they have the right activities, the right resources, the right hobbies, then it can actually help them. Dance, I'll tell you this, in any of my corporate American endeavors in career-wise, dance, I'll tell you what, it teaches discipline, it teaches dedication, it teaches commitment, it teaches so much. And so I think that these kinds of outlets, even for young kids, will help them in whatever they do.
Oh, I agree. And that's why I so support you on this journey, because not only did we go over how kids have too much time on their hands, but it's good to explore that artistic side of them. So what type of different classes are you planning on having at Dance Academy?
Well, initially, I'm going to teach my passion, which is ballet and tap. So I'm going to have a hip-hop jazz class that will incorporate hip-hop and jazz. It's not going to just be hip-hop, and it's not just going to be jazz. The kids kind of like that hip-hop aspect nowadays, so I just figured I would take a hip-hop class and add some jazz technique to it. Also, I'm going to have a worship in motion class, and so that's pretty much a liturgical dance class for people who, for Christians, people who want to learn how to use dance as an act of worship. I also got my insurance to approve a roller skate class.
What?
So with
awesome.
with quad roller skates, it's actually choreographed movement to music.
Nice.
So in the last couple months, I've been going roller skating just because it's not something that I did before. I stopped doing because of my health issues. And so I started doing it again. And I met so many amazing skaters, and I'm like, you're like professional. And they're like, you're like professional. Like, where did you come from? We come here every week. You're awesome. I'm like, it's been 20 years since I've been on, you know. But these are people who, they do skate competitions. I mean, here in Pittsburgh, you don't even know, you know. They travel to go do stuff. And there are skate classes in other cities, but not in Pittsburgh. So I'll be the first.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That is awesome. Actually, you know, you brought up, you know, health issues that you've suffered from, and it's been a long journey to get to where you are right now, and I want to go over that. And also, you've been a guest on the Steve Harvey show, right? So we have a lot to cover, of course.
Yeah.
Now, this is going to be an awesome episode. You have to stay tuned, seriously. We're going to have more here with Terrae Davis in a moment, so we'll be right back. The Mish Connection will be right back. Welcome back to the Mish Connection. Hey Pittsburgh, once again it's your girl Mish, and welcome back to the Mish Connection. I have here a very special lady. Her name is Terrae Davis. Now, Terrae, We went to high school together.
Yay.
Not only that, I actually went to the Centers for the Musically Talented too, so
Cool.
we know each other from there too.
Nice.
Yes, but I know that it's been a long time and just a very long journey to get to where you are at this time. And I know that you do have a disability, but in Pittsburgh you are considered disabled. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so after I had my second baby in 1999, I started having some symptoms. I didn't know what it was. I was in and out of surgery. I've had 9 surgeries in 13 years. Oh. And my doctors, I'm going to different specialists. They're sending me everywhere. And finally, my PCP diagnosed me with fibromyalgia. Oh. So I wasn't happy for that diagnosis, but it was a relief to know what it was, because I was, every other week it was like, what's wrong with me? Why am I having this pain? Oh, well, here, go see this specialist and we'll do some tests, and they could never find anything. So, but whenever I did the research for fibromyalgia, I'm like, I have all of these symptoms. This explains a lot from over the years. Right. So, like I have a number of specialists. I was seeing them every week. I was on medication, Lyrica that you see on TV, Cymbalta, all these medications. I was suffering with depression. I was seeing a therapist. I suffer with insomnia, so I have sleep issues. I got a migraine every day, so I was on daily migraine medications. I was working at the University of Pittsburgh, and just to get through the day, I would take all these, like, I'm already on medications, but I'm still having migraines. I was taking Tylenol and Excedrin and Advil. But then right after lunch around 3 o'clock, whenever everybody else goes and has a snack, I would be in the bathroom giving myself a shot in my hip for my headache. And I was doing that almost every day. And I think you can only give yourself 2 shots every 24 hours or something, and I was getting one every day. Like, I couldn't get through the day. You know what I mean? It was just, I suffered a lot. My very last day on the job at the University of Pittsburgh, at lunchtime, I told my boss, yeah, for lunch, I'm gonna just, my office was in Shadyside Hospital. I'm gonna walk down to the ER. I'm having some chest pains. Oh, no. I'll be back. So that's what I'm gonna do for lunch. I don't know what you're doing for lunch. I'm gonna be in the ER. That's where I'm gonna spend my lunch.
Right.
And they admitted me for a week.
Oh my God.
So that was my last day at work. I came out of the hospital, and I loved my job there. I loved my job. It wasn't the easiest job. I didn't work with the greatest people. I loved what I did there. I worked at the Centers for Environmental Oncology in the Cancer Institute. And so I loved what I did. I taught on cancer risks. And so I was like, this is amazing. I learned so much. And whenever I went to go back to work, my doctor was like, no, it's too much stress, and because of your condition, you can't handle it. Oh, but I love my job. Please let me go back part-time.
Not even part-time.
Not even part-time. And it hurt me. Like, I was like, I love this job, though. I like what I do. And she wouldn't let me. So at that point, I applied for disability, and that in itself is a process. But they approved me right away. They looked at all my medical history, and they looked at my current doctor's notes and everything. They were like, you can't work. You've been trying to work, and you get an A for effort, but you can't work. And I was like, but I can work. So that was hard, and I struggled for years. I can't stand for a long time. I can't sit for a long time. I can't lay down for a long time, and then I can't sleep. And then because I can't sleep, I'm fatigued. And then whenever I do sleep, if I do something simple like go to church, then I'm exhausted for the rest of the day. And you know what I mean? It was just, and I'm a mother. I have 2 kids, and my youngest son, the one that I had in 1999, has special needs. So that was a challenge in itself. So it was just a whirlwind of things that, it was just hard. And so then I didn't work. And so now I'm, I feel, like don't have a purpose. So now that I'm depressed, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it was just this terrible, and then people and family members didn't really understand.
Right.
Because they don't know what fibromyalgia is. I mean, if you tell me you have lupus and I don't know what lupus is, I'm gonna go and Google that. Like, I'm gonna talk to you extensively. What is that? I wanna be able to help you. But I mean, the people who are in my circle, the people that I'm related to, the person I was married to, it was like, well, I mean, how you've been laying on the couch all day? Yeah, because I got issues.
Right.
You know what I mean?
The struggle is real over here.
The struggle is real, and you
Yeah.
don't know it and you don't see it. I mean, luckily it's not a disease that I'm going to die from.
Right.
And
something you have to live with.
Right,
It's
something
just
I have to
hard.
live with, and it can be progressive depending on how I choose to,
Maintain your
maintain
health.
my health and
Right.
my lifestyle, right?
Wow, that's a lot, of course. And on top of that, to have a passion to do something physical in dance, like how did that affect your dance career?
Well,
for a while?
I didn't have a dance career
At all.
because remember, I mean, I can't go to the mall and walk around for an hour.
Right.
So to dance is just ridiculous. To roller skate is ridiculous. To do any of that stuff. So I mean, I got to the point where, I would be at church, and during praise and worship, I can't stand the whole time, and I'd have to sit down and just kind of just.
Right.
But then I couldn't clap for a long time. I had 3 wrist surgeries, and I got issues with my wrists. I can't clap either. You know what I mean? So so it was just a lot, and I'm like, I want to raise my hands, but I had shoulder surgery on both shoulders.
Right.
So it's like, praise God. Wait,
wait,
my
hold
shoulders.
on.
So it was just, you know what I mean? It was dance was not even in the picture. It was like, yeah, that's what I used to do. And actually, it was my rheumatologist who I was talking to one day, and he actually told me, he said, it's actually not so odd that you have this issue. He said, because you're an athlete. You've been dancing all your life, since age 3.
Right.
So, I mean, remember, I told you about all the dance classes I had every day, every week.
Yeah.
So he's like, at age 25 is when I had my baby, my second baby. He's like, it's not so uncommon for athletes, football players, dancers, to start having these types of issues. He's like, this is not, I'm not saying that dance caused it,
Right.
but it's not so uncommon.
Wow. My goodness. You've had support, of course. I know that you've been on the Steve Harvey show. Yeah. Now you got to tell me the ins and outs of how that happened, and how was your experience on that show?
That experience was amazing, only because, well, first let me just back up. It was a year ago whenever random families that I didn't know started seeking me out from different directions for dance to help with help their daughters to get into Kappa.
Nice.
And I was like, well, I'm a Kappa veteran, so, that kind of thing. And so I started with that. And so, parents were like, what I would really, do you have a school? Do you have a dance school? And I was like, no. Like, why would I have where does it? But I mean, since then, everything fell into place. Like this dance school that I have, like everything fell into place. So whenever I got my insurance for my dance school, the guy interviewed me, what kind of insurance do you need, this, that, and the other, what's your business? And so when I told him the story, he said, this is amazing, this is a great story. Somebody needs to know your story.
Nice.
And the older I get, the more I realize that everybody has a story.
Everyone, yeah.
So I'm like, why is my story any different than anybody else's? And he said, no, this is great. This will encourage a lot of people. You should tell your story. So I went home and I wrote it out and I sent it to Steve Harvey, and 3 days later, the producers contacted me and they said, this is a great story. We want you on the show.
Beautiful.
And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right.
I'm gonna be on TV.
I'm gonna be on TV.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you get this call, especially 3 days later after writing out your story, which you didn't, necessarily think it was going to work, because everybody has a story, but each story inspires another with another story, and I think that's beautiful. I'm glad you're able to get all that out, and you're able to actually share it with us here. But after you went out to Steve Harvey, how was meeting him?
It was good. Like, I only met him on the set. So it's not like we had a conversation in the green room before we came out. It was like, they positioned me on the stage in front of their live studio audience, and he walked right over to me, shook my hand, hi, nice to meet you.
Nice.
Had a seat, and it was rolling.
Right.
So it was just that quick. But I mean, I had my own private green room. And so I was there for like 5 hours before I was actually on stage. So I had a flat screen and I could see whatever the audience could see. So even whenever they would roll and they would cut, I could still see what was going on. So, and you know, he's the same, he's what we see on TV. He's just Steve Harvey. And even when the camera's not rolling, he loves Marjorie. He loves his kids. He gives back to the community. Like that's who he is.
That's wonderful.
And I was happy that they flew my kids out too, and they got to meet him. So which was amazing. That was the highlight for me. Yeah.
Well, of course you were excited about being on TV, but you've had some camera work. We've seen you on different commercials and things like that. You know, Eaton Park, UPMC, and you have a new commercial actually out, right?
It's called it's Health Mart Pharmacy commercial, and so I did that a couple months ago.
Oh, nice.
But even with it all started with Eaton Park, and I didn't seek that out.
Really?
I was at Waterworks Mall, and my girlfriend, she didn't have a car. I took her shopping, food shopping. And when we were leaving the Giant Eagle, we saw all this commotion over at Eaton Park. So we were like, what's going on, you know, being nosy. And so we went over and there's cameras, there's balloons, there's smiley cookies and crowds of people. And so we're just kind of looking around. And a guy, regularly dressed guy, no Eaton Park logo, nothing. He's like, hey there ladies, how you doing today? Let me tell you about what's going on. Nice guy, told us what was going on, offered us some cookies, and we're like, thanks so much. We're walking away, and I stop. I was with my girlfriend, and she goes, what's wrong? And I said, I need to find out who that guy is. And she's like, the manager, who cares?
Right.
Like, it's cold, let's go. And I said, I feel like I need to find out who that guy is. She's like, I'm going to the car. I've been standing out here long enough. I'll meet you in the car. I said, okay. I go back to the guy and I said, I'm sorry, I never got your name. He gives me his name, and then he says, are you an Eaton Park customer? And I said, of course I am. Your buffalo chicken salad is awesome.
I get that all the time.
What would I do What would I do without that chicken salad? So he said, great. He said, you're beautiful. Have you ever been in a commercial? And I said, well, thank you. No, I've never been. He's like, how would you like to be in a commercial? I think you would be a good to help us advertise our strawberry banana French toast or whatever it was. And I said, okay. He hands me his business card and he walks away. He's the senior vice president for marketing for Eaton Park. That's how that happened. The next day, since I had his business card, the next day I sent him a follow-up email. Hi, Mr. So-and-so. It was a pleasure meeting with you yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Here's my contact information, blah, blah, blah. And the rest is history. Wow. After that commercial, I had a lot of feedback. Somebody suggested that I sign up with a local talent company here. I know her personally now. She used to live on my street. My next door neighbor is her best friend.
Wow.
And so they talk about me all the time, and when she needs me, she calls me.
Oh, wow.
And I get a lot of work. Like, that was totally,
beautiful.
Yeah, that was totally like orchestra. Like, I had nothing to do. Like, it's not like I was like, I'm gonna be a famous actor.
Right.
Like, it wasn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
But see, you being a good person, actually, that attracts all that, you know, all those blessings.
Yeah, I guess that's
good.
Yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Now, we have more coming up with Terrae. You don't want to miss this. Come on now. Come back to the Mish Connection. The Mish Connection will be right back. Hey Pittsburgh, it's your girl Mish once again. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're back with the Mish Connection, and I've had such an amazing time here with Terrae Davis. Thank you so much, Ms. Davis.
It's my pleasure to be here. I love it.
Now, I want people to stay connected with you. This is the whole point of this show. I want people to stay connected with the people that are just wonderfully talented, actually stay connected. So tell me a little bit about the different projects that you have coming up that you're currently involved in, and also where they can stay contacted or stay connected with Dance Academy of Praise.
Yeah, so I have a website. It's danceacademyofpraise.com. And just to give an overview, it's not church just because it has praise in it. But I mean, pretty much my mission is just really to learn how to use your body to express gratitude for life. You know, a lot of times people, when they're happy, they smile, they clap, they laugh, but really our whole bodies, we have the ability to exude joy from every part of our body. And so that's pretty much what we celebrate at my dance studio. I do have some projects coming up. People have been contacting me on Facebook from all over. The Steve Harvey Show was a national show. So a production company in Memphis contacted me and they want to partner with me.
That's
yeah,
beautiful.
they want me to have a piece of my company there, and they want to bring a piece of themselves here.
Right.
I have a 4,500 square foot space, so I have 4 studios, so I can do that. I have room for that.
Nice.
Also, I have a couple of women who asked me to speak at their women's conferences just to encourage women. Some of them want me to dance, but some of them want me to speak, and they're like, you know, your testimony can heal somebody, will encourage someone. And I'm like, yeah, it would, yeah, absolutely. I do help teach at the dance ministry at my church. I'm very involved in my church.
What church do you go to?
I go to Terrae International Ministries. I sing on the worship team. I play my violin with the band for the men's choir that's going to sing tomorrow. And I'm also obviously a participant in the dance ministry. So I work with the children, I work with the adults. But yeah, just a lot of good things coming up, and you know, just a lot of good connections.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
I'm excited.
Miss Davis, you have a lot going on.
I do.
That is beautiful. and that's why we're here, just to stay connected to you. But please continue to stay connected to us, and any type of updates you have, just don't hesitate to give us a call. So hopefully we can have you back on the show again.
Oh, yeah, that would be great.
Good, good, good. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in to the Mish Connection. You know, I have amazing connections, so you don't want to miss it. You try to stay blessed. Bye, Pittsburgh.